Hello again. My name is Zgoll. I'm professor at Göttingen University, and I will talk to you today about a newly detected myth, a very important myth. It is the myth of the invention of writing, the first, the oldest one we know about, and actually the only one until now. The detection of this myth has important consequences for our understanding of literature in Mesopotamia, in the Cuneiform world, and consequences about our understanding of the first author in world literature, which will become clear in this and the following episodes. This myth is about a goddess, the goddess Nissaba, goddess of grain and writing. This is very fitting, isn't it? This goddess Nissaba invents writing, and we find this myth incorporated in a praise song to one of the mother goddesses called Nintu and her city Kish. Today, this song is labeled just as Hymn to Kish. This hymn is outstanding in numbers and facts. If we look at the date, the myth and the song where it is found in is dated to the time when we have the first so-called literary texts from ancient Mesopotamia. This is about 2600 BC. And we have later texts, later tablets, which have this text on it, but in a more elaborate, in a longer version. The history of the decipherment of this text is special as well. In 1969, Gregg published the first edition of the Hymn to Kish on the basis of 36 tablets, all dating to the 18th century BC, 17th century BC. Today, for example, if you look at the translation of Klaus Wilke in 2006, we know about 90 tablets of this song. And there is an ongoing edition project of Britt Kerger at the University of Göttingen, and let's see how many duplicate texts we will know when her edition will be published. How has it become possible to detect this myth? This has become possible through a comprehensive theory of mythological research, which has been conducted by Christian Zgoll and several research groups on mythology in Göttingen, at Göttingen University. The results are being published mainly in the series Mythological Studies, and here you can find already several papers, articles on the subject, as well as case studies for ancient Mesopotamian, ancient Egyptian, and ancient Greek and Roman cultures, myths in these cultures. We start with the basis well known in several fields that myth is narrative material. Myth is not to be equated with text, nor pictures, nor film, but myth is found or can be found in texts, pictures, films, in dances, and whatever. This has not been common knowledge in ancient Near Eastern studies, but in other fields, as for example in classics. But the problem has been that there was no method to find out the narrative material behind texts, pictures, and so on. So in these research groups, we have developed methods to analyze the narrative material, to reconstruct it from texts mainly until now. And we're working on the reconstruction of narrative material from pictures or ritual actions. This field is called hylistics. The narrative material is based on basic statements called hylings. In further episodes on this channel, we will explain how that works. At the moment, it suffices to say that using these methods, it has been able to find out the myth about the invention of writing in the praise song Tunintu and Kish. So, let us have a look at the relevant passage. In Sumerian, in the version of around 1700 BC, it reads: Enlil Kesha Samim Amabe, Nissaba Nuka Dilibim, Enim Bida Sagin im Dansur, Dubam, Alnganga Shushe Alnganga. While Enlil was singing the praise song to Kish, Nissaba was the only one who knew how to write it, because she had mastered the art of waving the praise song from these words, like a net. There was a tablet. While she was taking this tablet in her hand, and then the text continues, and it is meant that Enlil sings and Nissaba writes down what he sings, his words, and what follows is exactly the content of Enlil's song, which has been written down by Nissaba. So the whole praise song is identified as Enlil's song as it has been written down by Nissaba. The content of the myth Nissaba invents writing is the following. Enlil, the state god, sings the praise song for Kish, for the city and its temple. That's important. It's the temple which makes the city of Kish. And Nissaba, the goddess of writing, uses writing for the first time. So what does that mean? It means that this myth is about Nissaba inventing writing. Nissaba invents writing and writes down this song. So for this myth, the Song of Praise Tunintu and Kish is the first ever written text in history. And the invention of writing has been done especially for this song. As we can find out from other texts, people thought about further songs written down by Nissaba. You can find more about that in another YouTube video lecture, which I will display here. The link I will display here. The next episode in this lecture series, will be about first sacred texts, Song of Deities.